major nerf and buff that is coming to all the weapons in Destiny pretty soon, and a lot of you are not going to like what's going to happen, and even less of you are even less are going to like what's going to happen. So I'm going to start off with just telling you a little bit about this background. The skirmish thing, this double skirmish that's coming up, is a new test for Destiny to... It's basically their sandbox testing ground. Whatever you use in there, they're going to tally up the totals of what people use, and they're going to nerf that particular thing harder. So if you're going to use auto rifles, they're going to nerf it a little bit harder. If you're going to use anything, it's going to get nerfed a little bit harder. So my recommendation is do not play the double skirmishes. It is going to screw up anything you have going, and they're just going to start nerfing things left and right. It is a sandbox idea, so don't use it. Don't play that game. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't unlock more Grimoire scores. It doesn't unlock a Grimoire card because you already have the skirmish card. If you don't care that things are getting nerfed and you think it's not going to affect you in any way, be my guest, go ahead and play it. But I personally will not be taking part of it for two reasons. One, I don't want to be a part of a sandbox idea for them to go ahead and see what we're using and then nerf it. And two, I hate PvP. So I'm generally not going to be playing that particular mode, or I'm not going to be playing PvP at all for the next couple of weeks. Well, let's move on to what we're talking about. Fatebringer, everybody's favorite hand cannon. Basically, your range is going to be decreased quite a bit. You're not going to be able to snipe anything from long distances with hand cannons anymore. So if you're in PvP and you're tired of getting shot across the map with Thorn or with Hawkmoon, or I'm not sure how many people use it, but the last word, don't worry about it too much anymore because that range is getting dropped to basically nothingness. The impact, it's going to be as advertised, so they're not changing the perks around on anything. But we're going to move over to auto rifles. Auto rifles, I hope you enjoyed them while they were good at long range, because that is effectively going to be gone. It is going to be very weak at long range, and it is going to be a very basic thing, and this is what I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to be a 2.5% damage decrease to all auto rifles. So the people that are using like Suros Regime and Sinjin E or any of the Suros weapons, you're kind of screwed, you know, in PvP. Your long range attacks are no longer, you're not going to be able to kill anybody from across the map with auto rifles anymore. If you do, they're probably going to be pretty much dead anyways, and you're just going to probably steal a kill from somebody. Auto rifles are going to be primarily used at short to medium range, so they're going to be a mid-range weapon. They're not going to be anything you're going to, you know, write home to mom about. They're going to be very basic. And now we're going to move over to the thing that everyone is going to end up using, and if you haven't done the bounty swarm yet, you're going to want to. I'm talking about pulse rifles. Right now, pulse rifles are kind of a joke within the community. If you guys subscribe to Ben Broman, he does a talk about this. He uploaded a video relatively recently where he talks about how Deej put out a question on Twitter, what's your favorite pulse rifle, and everyone said that's the funniest fucking joke they've ever heard in their lives. But pulse rifles are getting a major damage increase, and they are going to be the thing everyone's going to be using now. Specifically the impact. Like you can see on the Bad Juju, the impact is not as high as it should be. It's sitting at about a 5 or 6. But add a 10% damage increase to that, it's going to be sitting at a 9 or 10. And that's going to make this, you know, a relatively beast of a weapon to have. But if you have Red Death that already has a considerable amount of impact, add 9.7% damage to that. The Red Death is going to be the new monster weapon in PvP, PvE. So if you don't have it, try and get it. If Xur happens to sell it this upcoming weekend, by all means, throw down some strange coins on it. Buy 3, buy 1 for each character, you know, or just buy 1, whatever one is going to suit you best. Keep that in mind, however, that in PvP, scout rifles are going to be all over the place. So stay long range if you can. Shotguns, for anyone that uses a shotgun in PvP, I don't necessarily have anything against you. I just hate you with a passion, I guess would be the word to say. I personally think getting, you know, long kill streaks with shotguns is, you're a bitch. You're gonna run up behind somebody and you're gonna shoot them with a shotgun. That's the main reason I don't play PvP. I go on a 15 kill streak and then it gets ended by some asshole with a fucking Swordbreaker or a Found Verdict or 2 more for the Morgue or something like that. And it's a bitch thing altogether, but so many people use shotguns at close range that they're kind of changing things around and they're giving it a buff. They're increasing the range to shotguns a little bit. So for those of you that don't like playing PvP for the sole reason of shotguns, well, you're going to have even less reason to play now because shotguns are getting a range and a stability boost. And if you're in PvP or PvE, they're getting a 200% damage boost. So if you're trying to work out your Grimoire cards for the shotguns and you're trying to farm your Grimoire score for that, that's where it's going to actually do you any good to actually have it, is in PvP, or as you were PvE, because it's going to get a 200% damage increase. So, yeah, it'll be the time to start getting your shotgun Grimoire stuff knocked out. You know, try and get that 5,000 kills with it as fast as possible before it gets too annoying. Moving on, sniper rifles. Sniper rifles and rocket launchers are both getting nerfed in some way, because they see people playing PvP that are getting these long kill streaks and stuff like that, and they're not taking any deaths. For example, this is from personal experience. I wish I had a screen cap of this, or a screen capture of this, so I could show you guys. In one of the Rumble matches I was in, a guy went, 20 kills, no deaths, and all of his kills were by a sniper rifle. So I want you guys to try, keep that on your back burner and let that boil over in your mind for a second, and just think about how much that should really piss you off. If it doesn't piss you off, and you're like, well, you know what, good for him, you're along the same lines that I am. I've done sniper rifles in PvP, and it's incredibly annoying. Getting the kills are not guaranteed, and they're very difficult because you got to time your shot. You got to make sure that you're hitting them. If you have a high rate of fire sniper rifle, then good on you. But they're nerfing sniper rifles for that very reason. They're changing around the range a little bit. All range is taking a little bit of an impact on sniper rifles. The stability is going up a little bit, so if you got Icebreaker like I do, it's gonna help you with your stability. So you're not gonna be going all over the map after you fire one shot. But even with that, it's all about the rocket launchers, and everyone's worried about what they're going to be doing to rocket launchers, and you should be. The reload speed is going down a little bit, so is the stability, and the blast radius is getting nerfed. Supposedly, this is the talk around specific Reddits that I go to, and Twitters and stuff like that, and all the stuff that I follow to try and keep up on the Destiny community and everything that's happening. It's really starting to show where they're trying to nerf everything. They want to have everything be an even playing field, but at the same time, they're not putting in PvP modifiers for weapons, and they're putting modifiers across the entire board. As far as I know, all shotguns are getting a non-listed perk to where it's a PvP buff. Non-Guardian kills increase damage 200%. So it kind of stops that from happening in PvP. Fusion rifles. This is going to be the killer for, if you bitch about people using the Vex Mythoclast in PvP, this is going to be great for you. If you like using regular fusion rifles in PvP, you're kind of fucked. Your long range, the Plan C, has a very, very good perks to where you're able to, keep everything together. And very great accuracy. This one specifically helps drop it. The accuracy keeps all of it in a nice tight little bubble. That's gone. Fusion rifles are getting nerfed pretty hardcore because they see how many people are getting kills with fusion rifles, and they're just not happy about it. They're like, okay, well, too many people. Once you have a fusion rifle in the game, people's playtime decreases significantly, and they want to have long playtimes. So Clash games will end with 4,000 points to 1,000 if it's a good team. But it might end up being close, 4,000 to 3,500 by the end of 10 minutes, and that's not a lot of kills. It's a total of 42 kills, 35 kills, or 10 kills. That's what it all comes down to. And they're doing all this nerfing to try and keep it even, and it's just not working. We've seen everything that they've done. Every time they try and patch something or nerf it, another bug pops up. Look at Crota's End. Normal raid, yeah, they patched the whole no more kneeling thing, and you have to cross the bridge, but let's think about how many glitches have come out of that into the coding. You know, you got sword bearers disappearing, you've got phases with the sword getting skipped, you have ogres coming out after one sword instead of two, the way they were before the whole cheesing thing happened. You've got knights coming through glass that we can't shoot through and that they can just walk straight through and fuck up your entire plan. So them doing this is most likely going to put glitches somewhere into the gameplay. It's probably going to be with the critical modifier is what I'm thinking is what's going to happen. Like if you're doing Crota's End, you're in the Abyss, and you try and take out a Thrall with a headshot with a Fatebringer, it probably won't even register that it's been a critical hit at some range. It'll probably be like close range and long range is where it won't register a critical hit for the explosion. But it'll be the mid-range where the explosion will happen, the critical will still register. And I've started noticing these problems already. I've gotten headshots on normal Crota for the Abyss, and it has not registered the headshot as a precision shot. No explosion triggered, and usually it's at that critical moment right at the end as the bridge is forming that it won't register that it's an actual hit and that the kill is registered. So I'm making this video so anyone that actually sees it will be prepared for what is going to happen to the weapons. So that way they're not sitting there one day like, well, damn, you know, my auto rifle was a beast on Tuesday, but now it's a piece of shit. What the fuck? And this guy with a pulse rifle is going undefeated and unkilled in all of these matches. You know, I don't want people to be misinformed. I like keeping the community informed because there's too many people in the Destiny community that have no idea what the fuck is going on. And it really needs to be said and needs to be learned, taught, and you have to know what's going on in this game. If you don't and you're not following the community at all, you're putting a disservice to yourself, because it's a community that gets the word out to people on what's getting patched, when they're patching it, what's getting nerfed, and what's getting buffed, and all this other stuff. And it comes down to us as a community. And I just wanted to let you guys know. This way, if you see my video and you found my video helpful, you will come back the next time there's more news of this shit happening. I know I'm a little bit late on it. Ben Broman uploaded this 4 days ago, and you know, it's all going to change the way the game is played. And in my opinion, they're fucking it up. And you know, there's so many bugs and stuff, but hey, that is all I got for you today, guys. I might be able to upload another video later on tonight. I'll see what happens. Kind of depends on my schedule. But I wanted you guys to know what was going on and what was up. So if you found this video helpful at all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and for the love of God, share this video so that way all your friends that play Destiny will get this information. Peace.